Hello everyone, this is In-Game Arts with another box and another offline product game review. This is Yohane the Parhelion, NUMAZU, and the Mirage. Now I believe I'm hopefully saying that alright. Now this is for the PlayStation 5, so to jump right into it, this physical copy here is the base vanilla version of the game, so the on-disc version is 1.0.0. Now sadly there was an update available. This update size was 680 megabytes big and will take you to version 1.0.15 since the time I make this video. Now like always, I play all my games completely offline with an unregistered account, and I didn't experience any massive game breaking bugs or issues, and as well I was still unlocking trophies with my unregistered account. Now, I'm really glad to say that I didn't experience any hiccups, no problems whatsoever throughout the beginning and end of the entire game. I did notice some minor, translation or subtitles or something like that, or wording being a little off or something like that, some typos or anything, but nothing serious, nothing that prevented me from understanding what's going on. But I do want to point out Yohane the Parhelion. This physical copy at the current time I'm making this video is only available in Japan. Now this physical copy does support English menus and subtitles, but it does not support English voice acting. So that's a little disappointing, but at least you can still experience the game completely, and the translation and dialogue is readable and understandable. But I don't know anything about the anime of Yohane the Parhelion, so I just don't really know anything about these characters or the universe this is based on. I just know that this game interests me, and I really wanted to check it out as soon as I had the opportunity. And to my surprise, this game was outstanding. I actually was pleasantly surprised by the game. Now, in terms of story, you play as Yohane. She is a fortune teller, if you will, and she becomes possession of a mirror. And this mirror starts afflicting curses on people, and Yohane gets absorbed in the mirror, and she's got to be able to defeat the altered version of her friends to be able to cure her friends. And that's pretty much straightforward. But the game consists of a card battling system. If you don't know, the game is basically a one-to-one of Slay the Spire. If you don't know what Slay the Spire is, it's just basically a one-on-one card game. You get randomly dished out cards. It's kind of like a roguelite where you get more cards and stuff like that, and you eventually fight the high boss, and then you win the game. You either pick your route you want to go. You can go visit merchants to buy new cards or charms that will help you throughout your playthrough. You got summons that will help you in your battles, as well as you got special events that can help you upgrade cards or get you money, or it could be a trap and you have to fight an enemy, and so on and so forth. There's a rest moment where you can rest to recover health or upgrade a card. It's Slay the Spire, and I don't know how else to say it, because if you haven't played Slay the Spire, you really should. It's actually a really good card game. This was pleasantly, surprisingly, just as good as Slay the Spire. Now, granted, this game isn't as challenging or as strategically as in-depth as Slay the Spire, but the overall presentation is all very, very charming. The overall graphics, I thought, were really gorgeous. I love the presentation of the game and the models that they got presented, as well as the cards all look really, really good. I really love the details of the cards. Now, the game has two play styles. You have balance and power. Now, you don't get power at the beginning. Power becomes unlocked later, and they all have their own preset cards. So basically, if you play balance, it has its own whole deck of kinds of cards. But if you play power, it has its own set of deck of cards. So you won't have power cards mixing with balance cards and balance cards in your power cards. So just keep that in mind. The game does have difficulties, so if you're like someone who may not like Slay the Spire because there is no difficulty setting and it's a really challenging game, the Yohane the Parhelion, NUMAZU the Mirage, is basically a more of approachable version of Slay the Spire, as well as it's got more of a story focus where you can play through the story, and as well as it has a story and characters and stuff like that, and there is an endpoint to the game. Some people may really enjoy that more. And to me, like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. Granted, I only failed one time. I actually nearly had a flawless victory. I almost beat every single enemy on my first boss on my first try. I was really surprised how far I got before I lost. And I was pleasantly surprised because it's Slay the Spire. I already knew how the mechanics work and how to build up my strategy, how to combine my cards to be able to utilize them in the best formula. And it was just really fun and rewarding. I was pleasantly surprised with this experience. And I love the animations when you use the cards. She does some special actions and stuff. Now, in terms of story, it's your typical anime kind of friendship is power kind of story. I can overcome anything as long as I have friends, that kind of story. So nothing really new. The characters weren't really anything interesting. They were very stereotypical characters in your animes, so nothing really inspiring there. But overall, the presentation was decent and the gameplay was decent. I thought the idea was really cool. I didn't do it, but I do know you can use summons, and the summons are like special cards you can use, and they kind of give you temporary buffs or benefits. Now, some people may not know, but you can summon all 3 summons at the same time. You can summon 1 or 2, or have all 3 helping you in one go, which is pretty powerful. Now, I actually never did that. I basically used 1 at a time once they went away. But my favorite deck was probably the power style. It just felt more of a play style that's more about chaining cards, while balance is more of a beginner for learning how cards work and the rules and stuff like that. Once you get the hang of it, when you start playing power, it's really hard to go back to balance. But again, it's a very straightforward and simple game. There's nothing really I can say that it's not going to be said about like Slay the Spire, where it's just you build up your deck, you hopefully can work out, and you try to plan out your cards and what kind of rotations you're going to have. And sometimes you're going to have a bad roll where you're not getting any cards to be able to combo with other cards, and it can really ruin your run. Now again, I could have gotten really lucky and beat every run on my first try and only failed once, but I still think the game is easier than like Slay the Spire. It definitely is, and there's a lot more forgiveness and stuff like that, as well as that like rogue-like where it's like a permanent die and you have to retry again with no benefits. This is more like a roguelite where you can unlock more stuff to make the gameplay easier. Like you have a permanent upgrades, we can increase some maximum health, permanently upgrade a lock cards or costumes you can wear to give you different kind of beginning items, as well as they got temporary boosts. So the next run you can play, you can buy these like things that will make your next run easier temporarily. It's only for that run, but once you lose, you have to rebuy that thing again, where it can give you more health when you rest, or you start with more money, or then you can get a free item the first merchant you visit. There's things that make the experience more approachable for people. So if you're someone who's been on the edge of like Slay the Spire, or you don't like Slay the Spire because it's just too difficult, or it's not something that it's in your ballpark, or if you just prefer something with more visual flair, I would have to recommend Yohane the Parhelion, NUMAZU the Mirage. It's actually fairly decent. The only thing is, it is disappointing that there is no higher difficulty. After beating the game, you don't unlock like hard mode or anything like that to really push the limits and try to find the best combination in cards and utilizing. Once you beat it on normal, you pretty much beat it. That's what I played every difficulty on, was on normal, and I still had fun. Even going through it and recording it and everything like that, I was still having fun with the overall card mechanics and everything. It was just a lot of fun. There's nothing else I can really say about the idea. It's Slay the Spire, but more anime style. And perfectly honest, though I am a little disappointed it's a one-to-one copy of Slay the Spire, I can't really blame it. If it works, it works, and it's really fun. I just actually would like to see more games based off this style. I've recently been watching an anime called Overlord, and frankly, I would love a video game version of like this, but Overlord, where you get to play as Anzu Gol, and you have to play card game when he be all confused because he's always played Irgicel, and that's not a card game. I think that would work out really cool, and you can have all these cool cards, or play all the characters and you can use them, or they're the bosses. I know I'm talking about a different anime and stuff like that than what this is, but I'm just saying there's a lot of utility that can be used in this format and not just for this game. And I would love it with this graphical presentation. These developers did a very good job. Now, I do want to point out 2 little flaws. First off, the game does not have subtitles during gameplay. So when you're in the combat and cards and she starts saying dialogue or anything like that, or you come across a special event, there's no subtitles for any of these dialogues. So you will have no idea what she's saying during these random moments like, yay, I won. There's no subtitle for that or anything like that. Now, this next one is a minor complaint. It has nothing to do with the physical copy or anything like that. The game has excessively overpriced DLC. Basically, the DLC is almost the same price as the game, and that's just one DLC. The DLCs are like more campaigns, as well as you could play as a different character and so forth. So it's a little disappointing. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them at the time of this video, so each one's like $20, I think, for each DLC. So you can imagine how much that's going to cost if you want to get all 5 at the time I get this video. So that's a little disappointing that they're, of course, it's anime. There's going to be people, they're going to take these companies like to take advantage of the anime community and make them spend ridiculous amounts of money for DLC. So, not a shocker there. So, I would love to see nothing more than like a complete edition. If we do get another re-release of this game, like let's say a limited run, fan gamer, or something like that, and we can get all the DLC on the disc and stuff, this would be a day one pickup. I would highly recommend people not to overlook this. At the time, like I said, this is only on PlayStation 5 and the Switch. I believe it's on the Switch. But I think it's a hidden gem right now. If this is the only physical version we're going to get, I do believe this is a hidden little gem on PlayStation 5. Hopefully it's not. Maybe we'll get a Europe or an American version down the road because it's fun. It's a fun little card game. It's just rewarding. It's graphically presentation, and it just felt good from beginning to end. I love doing all the combinations and learning the cards and finding out my play style. So like always, thank you all so much for watching. I will leave links down in the description if you're insta-copying. As I said, I think it's worth it. I mean, if you want to hold off and hopefully there might be an American version or European version, I don't blame you on that one. I don't know when that's ever going to come, if ever. So in my personal opinion, if you're interested in it and it looks something like in your ballpark, go ahead and pick it up. Because I enjoyed this card game. It's a lot of fun. It's not as hard, and it's not going to be some grand story or anything like that that's going to be like leaving you in tears or anything. But for the most part, the gameplay department, it delivers. The visual department, it delivers. As well as the overall experience is delivered. And that's what a video game should be doing. The rest of the stuff is mostly fluff. While appreciative when it's quality, the most important thing is the video game. And this is a video game. So like always, thank you all so much for watching. As I said, I will provide links in the description. It's up to you. And again, thank you all so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next unboxing video.